Hello, everybody. This is just now Let the Bible Speak. If you blow over, I'm outside enjoying the weather out where I'm at. I'm underneath my big shade tree, and it's a beautiful day out where I'm at. And I got my Bible out, got a nice breeze. So, and my hair's not gonna stay nice, but yeah, we're gonna get the Word of God today and talk a little bit about Jesus and maybe do some jumping around. And it feels good outside right now. It's beautiful out. So I hope you're enjoying the weather wherever you're at. But anyway, I'm gonna get my Bible out. I hope everyone's doing okay, and I'm doing well. Hope everyone had a good work week. And yeah, but we're going to be in Matthew, the book of Matthew, chapter 20. And I got my King James Bible out, ready to go, and I hope you can hear me just fine. And, you know, what's our attitude like when it comes to work? Sometimes it sucks. Sometimes I don't have the best attitude in the world, and with that, I really kind of need to be reminded. You know, when I work for somebody, for a company or somebody, and I'm getting paid what I'm agreed to, but yet the person doing the hiring, the person or employer, does something I don't agree with, we seem to get a bad attitude. I work harder than somebody else, and they get paid more money than me. Or I work for the company and somebody gets ahead of me that hasn't been there as long as me. Or there's so many scenarios where you know you worked hard and you deserve the opportunity, but maybe you're not getting it. But if you're hired for a certain wage and you're not in trouble or anything like that, but you're just not getting where you think you should feel you should be, remember what I'm about to read to you. And a side of me, the old flesh, the part of me that says, hey, this isn't fair, I understand. But we had Jesus who reminds us about a story about workers, the laborers. So with that, Matthew chapter 20. Matthew chapter 20. It says, for the kingdom of heaven is like unto a man that is an householder, which went out early in the morning to hire laborers to his vineyard. And having a vineyard back in Bible times was a very big deal, especially anything that do with farming or growing. It was something that was important to that culture at that time, which technically still is. Literally right over here is a farmland. Without farmers, we'd be in really bad shape. So some things haven't completely changed. And verse 2, and when he had agreed with the laborers for a penny a day. And there's the key word. I underline agreed. Because when we agree to something, you're saying, okay, this is fair. Okay, I agree with that. Okay, we got to remember. You agreed, he agreed, everyone's on the same page. But when he had agreed with the laborers for a penny a day, he sent them into his vineyard. So, verse 3, and he went out about the third hour. So later on, the owner decided, hey, I want more people to come out. There's still work to be done, and I hired some people, they're doing a great job, but hey, I need to get more people out here. So, and he went out about the third hour and saw others standing idle in the marketplace. And basically, from my understanding, without studying this deep down, they were people able to work, willing to work, that goes to the marketplace, to a certain area, a certain place, and they would wait to be hired. Someone that needed work, they could come up and say, hey, do you need work? And they would hire him. So they were staying there waiting for a job. And he said to them, go ye also into the vineyard, and whatsoever is right, I will give you. And they went their way. And he says, I will give you. The owner said, I will give you. When I get hired in for the job, I'm to give my job my time. I'm paid for my time. I am to give them me. And to be safe on my job, have a good attitude on the job, get the job done, and go home. And they went their way. Okay, so verse 5. And he went out about the 6th and 9th hour. So he decided at this point, I think I could use a few more people. I could use some more people. And did likewise like he did in verse 4. Went to the marketplace. Actually, verse 3, when he went back to the marketplace, found more people, brought them in to work. And to the same agreement. Okay? So, and again he went out about the 6th and 9th hour and did likewise. And about the 11th hour he went out and found others standing idle. In other words, waiting for work. Said to them, why stand ye here all the day idle? And they say to him, because no man have hired us. In other words, we're waiting to be hired. I used to tell people, I remember telling some people before, if you don't have a job, work for a landscaping company, help do odd jobs. If you don't have a job, take that whole day to go job hunting. Put applications in, go online, go get a resume done up, get yourself dressed up, get yourself cleaned up, get yourself ready to be looking for a job that day. Okay? And this is what they had to do for a job. They had certain regulations and rules they had to go by. But anyway, they said to him, because no man hath hired us, in verse 7, he said unto them, go ye also into the vineyard, and whatsoever is right, that shall ye receive. So when evening came, the Lord of the vineyard said to his steward, call the laborers, and give them their hire, beginning from the last unto the first. Here's where controversy, debate, and attitudes change. Remember, everybody agreed on the same pay. Those that came first agreed on the pay. They agreed on what they were getting paid for the day. But I get what they're saying. I get what the laborers are saying. What's coming up next. But I also get the point that Jesus is bringing out here. All right, so I lost my spot. All right, so verse 9. And when they came that were hired about the 11th hour, they received every man a penny. So the owner said, hey, I'm giving you a penny. It's the owner's money to do so. Okay? But when the first came, the ones that were first hired, they supposed that they should have received more. And I would agree, because they put in a whole day's work. They did a whole day's work. They labored in the sweat and the heat. They did it all for hours. I get how they feel. But just because you feel that way doesn't mean your attitude and your feelings are right. And here's why I tell you why. And they likewise received every man a penny, as agreed from the very beginning. They agreed to the penny a day. Some people say, well, that was pretty shady of the owner. No. Is it really shady of the owner? If you had the attitude it was shady, yeah, it's shady. But if you had the attitude that, listen, I agreed to this is my fault, I can't get mad at the owner. He's paying me. And he can do what he wants with his money. And when they had received it, they murmured. They were not happy. They gossiped. They talked about him. They put the good man down that paid them their wages against the good man of the house, saying, these last have wrought, others worked but 1 hour, and they have made them equal unto us. But the owner has the right to pay what he wants to pay out. Now, do I think it's good business for me personally, as a human being, as a person that works every day? No, I think that's bad business. But, was he lying? Did he lie? Did he do the ones that agreed to the full work hours, their pay? Did he cheat them any pay? No. Did he lie to them about anything? No. He was honest. They just didn't like how he did business. So their attitudes were wrong. But they murmured, saying, these I have worked, basically, have wrought, like worked, but 1 hour, thou hast made them equal unto us. Made them equal unto us, which have borne the burden and heat of the day. But he answered one of them, and said, friend, I do thee no wrong. Did not thou agree with me for a penny? Yes, they did. Take that thine is, in other words, what you earned, and go thy way. I will give unto thee last, even as unto thee. It is not lawful for me to do what I will with my own. In other words, isn't it lawful for me to do what I want with my own money? I can do what I want with my own money. And we have no idea. Maybe that person that worked all day long was like more lazier than the ones that worked hard towards the end. Maybe, just maybe, the ones that were hired from the get-go worked for a penny, because back then, we say a penny a day, say that, oh man, times have changed, yes. So I get paid decent money. I'm not rich, but I get paid decent money. I know people that make a lot more money than me. I know people that make less than me. But how do we know those workers that got hired first were great workers to begin with? We have no idea. We don't have details of that. Maybe they were the better workers. But either way, they didn't get treated bad. We see no details about them getting treated badly. We had no details about them. And we know they didn't get paid any less. We know they got paid what they agreed on. It was a fair business. A company or a person that's doing hiring has the right to pay what they want to pay on agreement. It's just when you know what your worth is. Like I know I'm worth my money when I work a job. I know I'm a good worker. Sometimes I've worked a job and feel like I should have got more money. But I felt like, you know what? The money I've got today helped pay my bills, or help put food on my table, or help put gas in my car, or help buy me a date to go with my wife, or whatever it may be. But I worked for the agreement. Take that thine is and go thy way, basically. I will give unto thee last, even as unto thee. Verse 15, it is not lawful for me to do what I will with mine money, or my own, it says. Is I evil because I am good? Their attitude was bad. Their mindset was not where they ought to be. This is a parable that Jesus was given. Most likely this parable was a real story, I would believe. I don't think this was just a made-up story that Jesus put together, because this was Jesus speaking. I think Jesus gave this reminder not only back then to these people, because they need to hear it, but we need to hear the same thing today. So the last shall be first, and the first last. For many be called, but few chosen. And you know, the parable of the laborers is a good reminder to check your attitude about your work. If you don't like how that person or that company or that individual is how they do things, don't work for them anymore. They come, if you're staying on the, if you're looking for the job and they come to, hey man, you want to work? It's like, no. Just tell them, no, you don't. No, I don't agree with that pay unless my pay is different. But at the same time, know your worth. But at the same time, when you get the agreement on the job, don't bite the hand that feeds. If you don't like that, you know I got friends that were good workers, but they quit a company for the fact of the matter is they didn't like how they were treated, or they didn't like how it was ran. You don't have to work there. But I'm content with the job I have. I'm not always happy, but I'm content because of the fact I need a job. And I don't hate my job. There's certain days I don't like. But I've went far in my life because of my job. Now, if you can get your own business going, if you can find a way to make money, honest money, without having to work a 5-to-5 job or 6-day job, and if you find ways to invest, healthy investments, if you can find a way to get, make good money outside the factory or doing whatever you do for a living, then great, do it. But listen, let's have a good attitude about work, because sometimes my attitude stinks. And the other day I was kind of not happy and I was complaining. So it's I try to preach to myself, teach to myself. What better way to do that besides just use this Bible? This Bible is our guide to help us through as reminders and teaching and learnings to understand. And Jesus taught that. So take it for what it's worth. That's all I got. Click and subscribe. I hope you guys are liking these videos and that we get something from it. Hopefully you see the message there. Having a good attitude, and even though you can feel and understand the laborers, how they felt, but at the same time, there's nothing dishonest about the owner. It just didn't seem fair, and I get it. I do. I don't think it's fair. A part of me, my flesh part, says it's not fair, but it was just honest business. It's his money to do what he wants with, and they wouldn't be working a job that day if it wasn't for him. So, all right, take it for what it's worth. Everyone have a great day in the Lord. Amen.